Welcome to English Through Ideas, where we learn English through powerful ideas. Today's explainer is, well, it's incredibly special. We're diving into the literally life-changing philosophy of Alfred Adler as laid out in the fascinating book, The Courage to be Disliked. So get ready, because we're going to rethink your life, your relationships, and your happiness in a completely new way.
Here's our roadmap for today's journey. We're going to cover 5 big mind-bending concepts. 1. The courage to change. 2. The wild claim that trauma does not exist. 3. Understanding feelings of inferiority. 4. Why life is not a competition. And finally, number 5, a super practical tool called the separation of tasks. Let's jump in.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, the courage to change. Now, Adlerian psychology is, at its core, deeply optimistic. He really believed that absolutely anyone can change their life and find happiness, if they just make the choice to do so.
So let me ask you directly. Have you ever felt like you simply can't change? Like maybe you think your personality is just permanently locked in place, or your past is way too heavy to escape? You know, it's a super common human feeling. But in Adler's psychology, this feeling is actually just an illusion. It's a mental block we create for ourselves.
He teaches us that we aren't defined by our past circumstances or by the things we're born with. What really matters is the lifestyle and the mindset we choose to use right now. We're not just, machines controlled by our history. We actually have the total freedom to renew ourselves today.
All right, moving on to Section 2, trauma does not exist. Now, this is perhaps the most shocking paradigm shift in Adler's psychology. The idea that past trauma does not control our present, period.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the contrast. You're probably familiar with Sigmund Freud, right? He believed our past trauma literally causes our present unhappiness. But Adler, he totally disagreed. Adler believed in looking at present goals. He stated that we actually create our emotions in the present moment to achieve our current goals. It's a huge flip.
This is a deeply empowering, but totally surprising idea. It basically means we might actually manufacture feelings like anxiety or anger as tools. Like someone might drum up feelings of anxiety simply because their actual goal is to avoid stepping outside and facing society. Or actually, they might suddenly create anger just to win an argument. The emotion feels 100% real, but it's really just a tool used for a present purpose.
Which brings us smoothly to Section 3, understanding feelings of inferiority. Adler explains here that our subjective interpretations completely shape our reality.
Here's a huge question for you to chew on as we go through this explainer. Are all problems relationship problems? Adler made this really famous, bold claim that all human struggles actually stem from how we relate to other people. So, let's unpack exactly how that works.
Look, we all feel a little inferior sometimes when we compare ourselves to our goals. That's a totally normal, healthy feeling. In fact, it can be an amazing launchpad for personal growth. But an inferiority complex is very, very different. This is when we use our feelings of inferiority as a convenient excuse to just avoid trying altogether. It's when you say something like, well, I'm not well educated, so I just can't succeed. It traps us. We literally get stuck in our own excuses.
But remember, our value is entirely subjective. Take Adler himself, for example. He was only about 155 centimeters tall, and for a long time, he felt absolutely terrible about it. But then, he had a realization. His short height was actually kind of a superpower. It made other people feel comfortable and way less intimidated around him. By just flipping his subjective interpretation, his negative feeling of inferiority completely vanished.
Next up, Section 4, life is not a competition. This is the next massive step in personal growth, changing how we view the people around us.
And this brilliantly illustrates that there are 2 very, very different ways to live. If you see life as a fierce competition where you just have to win, you're naturally going to view people as enemies. You'll constantly compare yourself to them, and honestly, the world will feel terrifying and stressful. But if you flip that and choose to see people as comrades, like friends walking alongside you on a flat playing field, you will find incredible peace.
Because when we stop competing with everyone, our desperate need to prove we're somehow better, it just disappears. Poof! Suddenly, we are free to genuinely celebrate the happiness and success of our comrades. That heavy, exhausting burden of constantly comparing ourselves just melts away.
Let's move to and see how this builds into Section 5, the separation of tasks.
This brings us to our final and honestly most practical concept today, the ultimate tool for self-improvement and better communication.
Now, one of the hardest things for many of us to accept is this: do not live to satisfy the expectations of others. Seeking constant recognition and praise from parents, bosses, or just society in general is a dangerous trap. Because if you always try to meet their expectations, well, you end up living someone else's life, not your own.
So to break free from this trap, you have to use what Adler calls the separation of tasks. Basically, this means drawing a really clear boundary between what you control, which are your own tasks, and what other people must control, which are their tasks. True freedom actually comes from untangling yourself from other people's responsibilities.
Here's exactly how you practice this in your daily life. Step 1, when you're facing a problem, ask yourself, whose task is this? You figure this out by looking at who actually receives the final result. For example, a child studying is the child's task because the child gets the final grade. It is not the parent's task. Step 2, do not interfere in their task. And step 3, set firm boundaries and absolutely do not let others interfere in yours.
So, the crucial point is captured perfectly in this famous old proverb. You can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make him drink. We can offer help, love, and encouragement to our friends and family, right? We can lead them to the water. But we cannot force them to change or make their choices for them. That is their task, definitely not ours.
We've covered some genuinely powerful ideas today, so I'll leave you with this final provocative thought. Will you find the courage to be happy? Because it takes deep courage to change, to stop making those excuses, to see others as comrades, and to firmly separate your tasks. Thank you for learning with English through ideas. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe for more ideas, more English, and more growth.